Hello my little gore friends, and welcome back to another video. In today's video we will be going over prompts. So before starting this video, I do want to say that I did take my initial list that I had found for these prompts and switched out two of the prompts. So instead for 27, instead of doing cat dog, I will be doing falling roped in, and instead of 30 doing lobotomy, I will be doing smile. Those prompts just interested me more, and I wasn't sure what to do for those prompts anyway, so that's why I switched them out. Now, onto the video's main topic. So for this first piece that you are about to see, I didn't know what to do. Originally, I thought just do a room and then have like a pentagram in the middle and then do candles and stuff like that. I was thinking more intricate, but in the end, I decided to go with a demon character in the middle of a pentagram or a ritual circle. For this, I went with more of red colors and dark colors. At first, I wanted to do a character behind one, so it looked like a more sacrificial scene, like somebody was being sacrificed, as in some rituals. That's what people believe happens, but in like horror media at least. But that didn't really pan out, so I just stayed with the main person and just turned them into a demon or some kind of dark being of matter. So I took and made her eyes like really dark around them. I left out the pupil, something I've been doing lately, and then I found out this new thing with the hair. I'm using my Sheba brush set that I got for free off of the web, and it's just so easy to make hair with those for some reason. They just are so flowy. So that's what I used to make her hair and her horns. I did something different, and I colored while I was doing the line art for this piece, and you'll see me do it for the next as well. But I was just having fun with it. It didn't take me too long on this piece, which you'll see in my final goretober video, all the times it takes me to do all these pieces, and then the total time I took for the whole of goretober. It's bad. It's a lot of time, but you guys will see that in the final video. I doubt this video is going to be the final one. I think there is going to be at least one more after this, so I am definitely excited to finish goretober. This is the closest I've ever gotten to finish it, and I'm really excited. I'm at the home stretch. So yeah, there wasn't much to talk about for this one, so I was trying to ramble a little bit, as I always do for these videos. Now, for the next prompt, I believe it was sleep paralysis. This one gave me hell. I didn't know how to make the character look. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I had very little to go off of for this character. But in the end, I figured out what I wanted to do, and that was a demon standing over like a bed. That's what I'm going with for this one. Now, I have never experienced sleep paralysis. I know somebody who did, and honestly, it's a big fear of mine, so I tried to make this one look more contorted and creepy. So this piece didn't take too long. I think I did it within like 22 minutes. At most, I'd have to go back and double check. But originally I was going to do like an end-to-bed view, but I couldn't find any references from like the perspective I wanted to go off of, so I kind of ended up scrapping that because I was getting a little annoyed and frustrated with it. So then I tried like a up-bed view with the person laying there. It didn't work. It didn't work. So then I found this photo off of Pinterest, and I used it for the background very, very loosely, just to help with perspective a little bit. It wasn't going to be the main focus, and you can barely see it, but yeah, it's there. So I just did that in white, and then I started sketching out the character and just getting like that base layout for what I wanted to do. I just had Lumarine over the bed, and I wanted it to be a black shadow character, because that's what I hear about when people say sleep paralysis demons, is it's usually referring to a black character, a black shadow character. sorry, gotta rephrase that, because that sounded really wrong. I didn't mean it like that, I promise. So, this character, I wanted to give them like an uncanny valley kind of look. I don't think I ended up with something that looked uncanny valley, especially in the end product. So I think that time was wasted since I covered up most of the face with hair, and then at the end, the glitch effects kind of destroyed the piece. So this is definitely my least favorite piece. It's a toss-up between skinned alive and sleep paralysis for me, for my least favorite, but I got it done. That's all that really matters. So, no hate if you like that piece. I made it. I mean, it's still not bad, but it's not my favorite. But, moving on. This one is Decay. Now, Decay was kind of just grossing me out, and I was debating changing it. But I forced myself to do it, and I'm so glad I did. Because it ended up being one of my favorite pieces that I have done so far. Decay was originally grossing me out because I knew that I may have to draw maggots, and maggots are like the bane of my existence. I hate them. Like, I've seen videos of them, and they're disgusting, and I hate them, and they need to stay like 20 feet away from me, even more. Like, I need a restraining order, I guess, type shit. But it's just that kind of vibe with me and Decay and stuff like rotting. I hate the word rotting. It grosses me out, but I ended up not doing any of that. So originally I had sketched out a couple ideas, and it was toss-up between number 2 and the one I did. So this is the one I ended up doing. Originally I was going to do both, but like when I was getting into drawing this one, I'm like, you know what, I don't think I could make the other one work as well as I did this one, so I'm going to stick with it. So that's what I did. I really liked this piece, and I had a reference. I'll put the reference up now. So this is the reference I used for this piece, specifically for the Decay in it. So I tried to do that on half of her body and leave the other half normal. I think it ended up looking less like Decay and more like rotting skin. Oh, I hate that word. That word gives me such an ick off of it. It's just, I just don't like it. But for this piece in particular, I think it looks kind of Disney-esque, and I love it. It's my favorite piece. In my old art, if you've been watching me for a while, you know that before I was really obsessed with doing like these flowered, brimmed, like canvas pieces in the background for my backgrounds. I'd always have it like framed with like a bunch of flowers and vines and stuff like that. But for this one, I decided to bring that back into like a little circle, and I wanted to just work with it. So this piece, I definitely was watching something when I was drawing this. I think I was watching like Five Nights at Freddy's being reimagined by a different artist, and it was just really getting those creative juices just open and out there, and I was living for it. And basically, I was just having so much fun with the shading process. I ended up doing this one in almost 2 hours, which is a good thing for me because I like when my art takes a while for me to get done. I know a lot of artists are striving to have their work in shorter times, so they're looking for ways to cut down on stuff in their art to make it actually readable in shorter amount of times. Me, I want to take longer on my art because I feel like my art always looks better when I've taken a longer time on it, and this piece definitely shows it because the other pieces were done before this were done for like less than like a few like minutes, like 30 or so minutes, but that one took me almost 2 hours, so I was really happy with that. Genuinely, it just gave me that energy to keep going on this because I was losing a lot of motivation. So for the next prompt, we got trypophobia. Now this is actually one of my phobias I think I have. I have this one and the fear of deep, like underwater, because the fuck is down there. honestly. But here, I did a lot of storyboarding for this piece, and yeah, so I'm going to talk about the drawing process for it now. Okay, so I'll ramble about this piece in a minute. I'm freaking out because I just looked at my YouTube page, and as of right now, as I'm recording this, the first goretober video is out, and I just hit 40 subs, and I'm freaking out. Oh my god, y'all are gonna make me cry. Anyway, back to ranting. I wanted just to say thank you for that real quickly because that's amazing. So for this piece, trypophobia, this is one of the ones I actually have. So I was a little disgusted having to do some photo research. My skin was starting to crawl. So I did a couple thumbnail sketchings, and I picked this one because it was just the most intriguing to me, and I decided to make one of the characters look more doll-like and have like more holes on their face, whereas the other ones just has simple holes on her face. I wanted to do one cool toned, one warm toned, so that's what I did. This piece was pretty simple, pretty quick to go by too, as well as these next few pieces. But it wasn't my favorite piece, but it's not my least favorite. I don't really have any that I dislike too much. The only one that I do have an issue with is my skin to live one, because I could have done that so much differently. But hey, I got it done. That's all that matters. I think I messed up this piece a little bit with adding in the noise, but I tried to fix that because it just wasn't looking the best. But here's my work in progress shots of this piece. You can see I definitely took a lot of time into it. Well, not a lot of time, but it was just a quick to go by piece. So the next prompt is roped up. This is one of the prompts I replaced because I didn't feel like doing cat dogs, so I did roped up instead from a different prompt list. And honestly, I do like this piece. So for this piece, I did two of my characters. If you follow me on TikTok, you know these two. This is Ghost and My Blackberry. They are my creepypasta characters, and they are two sisters. They have a third older sister, but I wasn't able to fit her in. Originally, this wasn't going to be them, but I just was drawing it. I'm like, this is so Ghost and My core. So I had to do that. So a little backstory behind the characters is Ghost I made on Mother's Day a few years back in my sketchbook, just by accident, back when creepshow art wasn't problematic, and I was like a huge fan of creepshow art. Yeah, so she had some elements back then inspired by creepshow art's art. Hindsight is 2025, and well, 2020, I guess, because I think that's around the time she was being canceled, rightfully so. But yeah, so her design has gone through a lot of work, but mainly I've kept most of her features the same, as she still has her dark skin, and I've actually created little lore around these characters. Again, they were meant to be creepypasta characters now. But she has three sisters. Ghost is the middle child and the one in blue. Mai is the youngest and the one in red. So what basically happened is Ghost was a very big creepypasta fan, so she finds herself working for Sunder's mansion after she passes away. Ghost is the first one to die and become a walker, which is the species that her and her sisters end up becoming. Walkers basically have their skin goes gray after they die, and they slowly lose their pupils in their eyes, and they start to glow, and then they have colored streaks in their hair. I'm trying to do this as fast as I can, but the longer they stay on Earth, the more sanity they lose, unless they have a very strong mind, and Ghost does, but Mai does not. I could go into my lore, but her lore is like deeper because she's the last that was alive, so she had to deal with stuff alone, so she has like a whole section. I can rant about these characters if you guys want. I will make a video just completely on them, if you guys are interested in hearing more about them. The next prompt was, I hope I don't get this wrong, the next prompt is fairy tales, and Originally, I was doing thumbnail sketches for The Green Ribbon, one of my favorite horror fairy tales, scary fairy tales meant for kids, but after seeing those, I was like, that's kind of boring. That's like usually what I do. And then all of a sudden, I just got the urge to draw like a dragon, and then it turned out to be Hello Kitty coded, like a very monstrous Hello Kitty. So I'm like, well, it never says that you have to choose an existing fairy tale, so we're gonna make my own. So this is a shape-shifting princess. At night, she becomes this creepy furry monster, and in day, she is this elegant princess. But the goretober feature, because these last few don't really have a lot of blood, sadly. Even though I love drawing gore, I just couldn't fit it in. But this one I did add a little bit of blood, dripping down my eyes, just for lore purposes, I guess. I just drew mindlessly. I just wanted to draw a big furry creature in a dress and choker. And then a princess, I guess. So that's what I did. This one's not really special, but I do like how the coloring turned out. There's my thumbnail sketch for both of them. I did them separately and then combined them together because I like that. There's my first sketches, and then my liner, and then boom, done. Okay, so the next prompt. Can't remember what it is. Technical difficulties. It was falling off. That's the next prompt. So for this one, I did a few thumbnail sketches. I started working on these thumbnail sketches like way before even doing this piece, because it was just fresh in my mind. I'm like, somebody falling off a cliff. That's the most obvious. So I'm like, okay, but I want like a weird contorted body, like broken arm. So this is what I came up with. It was a quick sketch. I did this like late at night while I was waiting for my phone to charge. My iPad's not wanting to charge again. I got it to charge once more on a broken cord, but now it's not charging again, so I'm glad I was able to finish all these pieces before it did. So these last few pieces are kind of rushed, and I do apologize for that. This piece, I just wanted it to be weirdly contorted. I didn't have a lot of time to work on it because I was racing against my iPad battery, so it's not as contorted as I would like. If I were to do this piece with a reasonable amount of time, that lower arm would come up a little more and her torso would be kind of more turned, not outward like she is right now. I would have also properly placed her feet on the edge of this little mountain cliff thing. I did break her arm. That is intentional. I did break her arm intentionally. I made the background black because that's just, I don't like drawing skies. They always look too cartoony and they don't match my style, so that's something I work on. I didn't do any shading for this piece. I just did basic, like simple shading, I guess, in black. I didn't do anything too difficult, so it didn't take me long. It took me like 30 minutes, and you'll see at the end of this video all the times it took for all of the pieces. But yeah, it wasn't anything too special. The next one, I was debating doing Jeff the Killer, but I didn't end up doing him. I wanted to, damn it! I forgot completely all about that. But I didn't end up doing Jeff the Killer. And my neighbors have decided to be noisy. Okay. But the next piece is Smile. And another one I replaced. Originally this was going to be Lobotomy, and I'm not doing that because how? How do you show that? There's a few good artists that could probably do that, and if you can, props to you. But me? No. I don't want to draw brains. Not right now unless I'm doing like a zombie character. So with this one, I had a pose in mind already. Just, it popped up in my head, so I'm like, you know what, I'm switching Lobotomy out for that because that sounds fun, and I want to do something fun. So this one, I'm proud of the liner, but not so much the coloring, and it's a little messy because, again, rushed. Like, I did this in 30 minutes. Give me a break. Not like my usual hour-long planned out ones. These last two ones that you're seeing now were drawn within seconds of within minutes of each other, so yeah.
But I just had this pose in mind, and I sketched it up. I did a couple other thumbnails, but nothing came close to this one, which I was pretty happy about, other than the fact I had to draw hands. Hands. I hate hands. But I hate feet more, so, yeah. And just figuring out the pose took me a while, figuring out what I wanted the clothes to be. The hair is less visible in the final piece because of the way I shaded it. I love the line art for this piece. I should have stopped there. I should have stopped with the base colors, honestly, but I didn't. And I think I suffered. Like, this point, at that point before I added the red, should have been the end of this piece, but I kept going. So, yeah. I signed it. I edited the colors a little bit to try and make it look more readable. It did not work. I was upset. I decided, you know what, I'm just going to move on and pretend this piece never happened. So, yeah, we're going to pretend like this one doesn't exist because it's not my favorite. I feel like I say that like every time, and I have like very rare favorites. I'm not saying my art is bad. I do have bad days, and I think that piece was a representation of me having I should have warmed up first. I should have done some warm-up drawings first, and maybe it would have turned out better. But I didn't, so I may revisit that one in the future. But for now, I'm not going to. So the last prompt for our goretober prompt list, oh my god, was childhood fears. I have a lot of childhood fears that are still very prevalent to this day. I mean, I was terrified of clowns for a while, I'm not really terrified of them anymore. Frogs, a lot of interesting ones, death being a big one, but also one that coincides with a lot more of my fears was drowning and big pits of water, like the ocean. No, get me out of there. I will have a panic attack. I think this is because of a couple reasons, and specifically when I was younger and learning how to swim. I still cannot swim to this day. I've been trying to learn throughout summer. It's not gone very well. But when I was a kid, when I was learning how to swim, my mom left me unattended for a little bit, and with her boyfriend, and he looked away for like a couple seconds, and I was under the water and freaking out. So that would traumatize you. Surely. It was very traumatizing, to the point where I refused to learn how to swim after that. And now at 19, I am struggling to learn how to swim because I feel like that's, so bad. So I just did a person drowning with algae coming up. So here's all the pieces and all the times it took, and then at the end I will show you my favorite piece I've done. I love number 2. Number 2 came out so good. There's definitely some pieces I would rather not speak about, but there are a lot of good pieces that I did for this, and I wouldn't do anything different with the compositions I did, maybe just how I executed it. So, this is my mom's personal one that she finds disgusting. She does not like the gut spilling prompt because she says it makes her stomach hurt. So, yes. I added up all the times for how long it took me to do these, and it took me 37 hours and 30 minutes. So a few days of work split up within the course of all through September and the start of October. So, yes. But that's how long in total all of these pieces took me to do. So, yeah. And that's not even, if all of them were over an hour, I couldn't imagine. Oh no. So yeah, you can definitely see when I have a piece that I like more and spend more time on versus ones that I don't spend a lot of time on in particular. So, yeah. I rounded up a couple of these, so the falling off, the smile one, and then the last one took me only like around 20 minutes, but I still rounded up just a little bit because I just wanted an even number and I didn't want to have to calculate it, so I just made it a half hour because it was close but not exactly there. So yeah, it's about 37 hours and 30 minutes. Maybe a little less on the minutes part, but around that. So, if you have enjoyed this lovely goretober season, happy Halloween, y'all. I almost forgot to say this because this video is out on Halloween. Happy Halloween, y'all. I hope you guys are having fun. This video is actually going out on midnight. So, little treat for y'all. Little treat. So, if you like this video, please be sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more of my content. I honestly appreciate it. And please comment. I love getting comments. They're the best. I love responding. I don't get comments often, but when I do try and respond. So if you have a question or anything you want to ask me, go ahead and ask it down in those comments, and like the video if you liked it, dislike the video if you didn't like it. You can also give me feedback in the comments, I don't mind. Yeah, share your thoughts. How did you like goretober? What was your favorite art piece I did? With that, I am signing off. Bye, my little gore friends.